We saw, dear viewers, this interesting introduction about the climate change. It's really a deep and interesting topic. So today we're going to have to great and glad to have with us today Dr. Meshari Almutairi. He is an environmental consultant. So hello and good morning, doctor.
Good morning to you, and good morning to the people who are watching us right now.
You're most welcome, and thank you for joining us. How do you see the climate change in the studio?
As we name it as an artificial climate change.
Yeah,
exactly.
Even when I'm pronouncing it, because of the cold weather, I cannot pronounce it very well. So because we spoke even in the off-air about the climate change, people sometimes misconception between climate and the weather change. What about the difference between them, doctor?
Actually, this is kind of confusing a little bit. So when we are talking about the climate, so that means what you expect. And what about the weather? It's what you get. So the weather, it's what you get in daily basis.
Yes.
And the climate, it's what you expect like in long term. So when I'm talking about long term, that means every 30 years. But regarding for the weather, it's what you expect like in daily basis, like in it's maximum. It's as a short term. For example, if I would like to say like I'm expecting the weather like in July is kind of hot.
Yes.
So in this case, I'm in part of climate.
Nice. Very interesting information, Sarah. So now we know the difference. Even we can talk to Fahd better.
Exactly, Aziz. So, Doctor, we witnessed and noticed, especially this summer, a severe climatic change all around the world, especially in the Europe. We can see the river drying up, actually, and the water. And also here in the Gulf, we noticed like a heavy rain in the summer. So what is the explanation, Dr. Meshari, of all of this?
Actually, there is two factors. So we have like the natural resource,
yes,
and we have like the human activities. But regarding what's happened in Europe, actually there is a latest research has indicated that there is a mass of dry air that has been shifted from like desert region to the north, and this is one of the reasons why the temperatures right now is increased.
Yes.
And as we explained, the human activities play a significant role in this case. Especially like right now we are burning the fossil fuel, you know, and the fossil fuel, it's produced like the carbon dioxide, and the carbon dioxide is captured the hydrogen. So this is one of the consequences.
So that's why we get so much rain, especially this summer, especially in Saudi Arabia, isn't it, doctor?
Yep.
Good information, doctor. Because the change of the climate and also the weather, it affects sometimes the humans. Sometimes we feel like now it's like hot temperature, then rain, then humid. Like even us, we cannot handle sometimes. Maybe we have to always keep going with the weather changes. So what about the impact of the climate change, especially for us?
Yes, I think this is a very critical question. What is the impact? We need to actually understand what's the impact, because it has a serious issue.
Yes.
So for example, the temperature right now, I think you noticed, for example, the storm or the destructive storm has been increased recently.
Yes. Yeah.
And this is one of the reasons, like you noticed one of the region that there is a frequency of storms happen, and that's mean there is increase of temperature, increase of humidity. As a result, the destructive storm is generated, and there is a severe flooding and a severe rainfall.
Yes.
So all these consequences is related to the climate change. And also one more thing regarding for the water level. The sea level, for example, is kind of increased once if we have like a melting of the ice sheets. So this is allowed to increase the sea level. And furthermore, the ocean has the capability to absorb the carbon dioxide.
Nice.
So when the ocean is absorbed, it's make the ocean acidic. So it will be direct impact or effect. There is direct impact to the marine life as well. So right now we are talking about serious issues. And you noticed about the availability of the low salinity water, for example.
In Europe.
Yes, in Europe.
Yes.
Right now, the climate change also plays a significant role in this case in the availability of the water as well.
Yes.
And it's impact the crops, and it's impact the ecological system as well. And you notice the desert right now is expand as well.
So the thing you mentioned, doctor, it's like happening, like I am already watching the videos like recently. You see the videos like in Europe there is no fountains, no rivers, if empty things happen.
Exactly.
All the doctor is saying, it's already completely true, we already saw it.
Yes, it's really great to know that in a scientific actually point of view. So doctor, are all the countries actually all around the world affected by the climate change and the global warming?
Yes, actually right now, because when we are saying the temperature will be increased like 1.4 Fahrenheit,
yes,
or like 2 Celsius, that means we are taking the average in the whole world. So we are not, we are all of us, we are living in the same plants. And I will give you some example.
Yes.
For example, you noticed after the COVID, when you would like to make an order for any kind of car, so you need to be in the waiting list. Have you noticed this?
Yes, yes.
So before, we thought that the problem is regarding for like the COVID, it has some impact.
Yeah,
but actually the climate change is also play a significant role in this case. I'm going to give you some example regarding for the microchip. You notice that right now the cars, like 40 to 50% of the cars depending on the microchip.
Yes.
So before like 2 decades, for example, the cars depend on the engine and the gear, that's it.
Yes.
But right now, 40 to 5% of the cars depending on the microchip. And each car is required like 50 to 150 of the microchip. So right now, all the factories who are making this kind, yes, or producing the microchips has been impacted from the climate change, like what's happening in Japan, the fire in the forest, and even the Taiwan. They are severe from the drought, and in Taiwan, for example, they require this water to cool down,
yes,
the machine which create the microchip. And even in Texas, they are severe from the storm which happened in February 2021.
Yes.
So all the factories in Texas is closed for almost 3 weeks.
So you mean, doctor, that really the climate change is really has a really huge impact on the global security?
Exactly.
See, this is like something related to something else, but there is something important.
Yes.
Are we responsible? Like I am a person, I am responsible for this climate change. I know people responsible for the environment, if we want to take a good care of our environment. What about the climate change? Is it like I am the one who like did the huge impact?
I think that the man is play a significant role in this case. Right now, we need to change in our habit. There is a couple of things we need to thinking more deeply. For example, we are using like the cars, we are using like the normal energies, and we need to categorize how the carbon dioxide is increased. Are we have any involvement? So I think the scientists had done a lot of job and a lot of research in this field, and they found that the man plays a significant role. Especially right now, we are burning the fossil fuel, for example, in the refineries and in the power plants, and also you know that about the power plants we are burning like the fossil fuel, and also in the cars and in the industrial. So like the plant is produce around 35% of the whole carbon dioxide, and the factories produce around 21%, and the cars produce around 40%, and even, for example, the agriculture forest is produce around 40% of the carbon dioxide.
So it's like the percentage you're already sharing to the viewers watching us through the KTV2, the huge impact you already played during for the climate change.
Exactly.
Exactly. So, doctor, we mentioned about the impacts, the results, the causes of the climate change for all around the world, and like impact it's affected the global security. So now the question is, what are the solutions, doctor?
Okay. If we would like to think about the solution, there is a couple of things we need to agree about. We need like support from the politicians.
Yes.
We need the support from the parliament. We need to increase the awareness about the renewable energy and the solar, you know, and I am not quite sure if you know that His Past Highness, Rahmatullah alayh, Sheikh Sabah Al-Ahmed, he's put his vision about using 50% of renewable energy in Kuwait.
Yes.
Okay, and this His Highness vision, it supported us in Kuwait, and all the other GCC countries, they are following us about what we planned already. So I think there are a couple of things it should be considered, like even our habit. For example, something I'm not quite sure if you will agree with me or not, we need to stop the subsidized for
Of what?
the oil, especially for
Okay.
for benzene, to be clear with you guys. You know, right now we need to encourage the people to use the public transport. We need to be able to use like the electrical cars, and the electrical cars should be supportive as well. So all these things need to be considered.
So, of course, first of all, the late Emir Sheikh Subah Al-Hamad Al-Jabr Subah, may his soul rest in peace, he gave the vision for all the GCC for the taking good care of the environment. And the thing you mentioned about reducing the oil, just take the public transportation, and now we have a new buses these days, new things are coming for the transportation. So people like to avoid the climate change, the problems happening. So I want to think about something else. You mentioned something important at the beginning. Politicians and the parliaments, and even there is conferences during these days, global conferences happened for the climate.
Correct.
Is it like for the same vision you already mentioned?
Yes, I think even us in Kuwait, we are the first country who participate in this conferences. In 1994, we participated on in Russian, and in 1995, after 1 year, imagine guys, after the Iraq invasion,
Invasion.
yes, we had considered all the rules and all the agreements which has been issued through these conferences, and also we participate in Kyoto, sorry, in 2004. And we participate in 2016.
Yes.
Okay, so in Kuwait, alhamdulillah, yani, we are one of the first countries who always participate in this kind of conferences, and always we suggest, and always we have some commitment with other countries.
So
Right.
this is like state of Kuwait always focus about something for the sake, for the environment, especially from the first of 90s until today, Sarah.
Exactly, especially let's talk about the children and the students, Doctor. It's really important to spread the awareness for them how to maintain the environment, especially Kuwaiti environment. So what, in your opinion, how can we spread the awareness, let's say, for the children actually and the students?
Actually, I think this task become right now is mandatory.
Yes.
You know, because they are in one day they will lead us, and one day they will lead our countries.
Yes.
So I think in the future right now they need to give them like somewhat other options, which is another availability. For example, I'm not quite sure if you know that there is higher other demand regarding for the blue hydrogen and the green hydrogen.
Yes.
So in 2015, like most of the countries, they are focusing on the hydrogen. So the demand of the crude will be reduced. So if we are not encouraging the people about what's the solar and what's the benefit of the solar and what's the wind and what the other people that are doing, and even we need to make some intensive studies for them. Okay, because at the end of the day, if we not grow something right now, they will be facing a challenge in the future.
Exactly.
So you mentioned about the next generation. So people now applying for Make Kuwait Green. Like people say in the summer season, they want to green, they want to increase the green, they want to plant. In your point of view, this is like Make Kuwait Green, one of the solutions?
Of course, actually, you know, if you would like to compare the Kuwait with other countries, you know, it's supportive. We will become as one of the good example for the other countries.
Yes.
That right now, even we are not like United States or like China, who producing a lot of carbon dioxide, but we will be a good example. And by the way, we are one of the good example for the whole countries. I'm not quite sure if you know that we are the first countries who had taken the money back after the Iraq invasions, when they destroyed the oil well. So we are a good example for the other countries, and I think yes, we need to support this kind of field as well.
So the Kuwait, one of the pioneers for supporting about the environmental cases, Sarah.
Which something we are so proud of. So, Doctor, are there any hope in the future that the climate change going to be stable?
Well, it must be.
It must be. Yes.
It must be. Right now, for example, in China, they are expecting, right now they have around 50,000 rivers, and they are expecting in 2050 it will reduce to 28,000.
Okay.
And we have like a high demand for low salinity of water. And I'm not quite sure if you notice, even here in Kuwait, I'm not quite sure that if you know that Kuwait Bay, the salinity has been increased. It was 4.5%, and right now it's become 5%. And the reason If you remember, like 2 decades back, we used to have like some low salinity waters come from Shatt al-Arab.
Yes.
But right now we have like minimized this flow has been minimized right now, and the salinity has been increased.
Yes.
So
great. So actually, Doctor, thank you so much for your generous information. We are so happy actually to have you with us this morning.
It's my pleasure.
Dr. Meshari, we're always proud of you. Thank you for being here, and thank you for your determination, for always coming for the KTV to sharing that awareness. We're very proud of you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
So that's for now, dear viewers. We reached the end of our episode, and we make it in a best end with our distinguished guest, Dr. Meshari Almutairi, environmental consultant. He sent a huge message and important for everyone who's watching us through the KTV2. Take a good care of the environment, because we are the person who are responsible for changing the weather. So see you tomorrow. Have a good day, everyone.
Have a good day, dear viewers. Bye-bye.